Hello everyone, we are from Group 4 and this will be our video presentation for Energy Guardians Preserving Tomorrow.
So our Group 4 will be consist of 7 group members. In a world buzzing with technological advancement, scientists play a crucial mission in discovering sustainable energy to steer humanity toward a more sustainable future. So in this era, we as a humans are pressed by substantial amounts of environmental challenge. This is why scientists armed with a commitment to inquiry and innovation play a central role in unlocking the potential of renewable resources, enhancing energy efficiency, and charting a course toward a low-carbon future.
And so our objectives are three things: education, awareness, and inspiration.
In aspect of education, it is to educate the public on the critical role that scientists play in comprehending and addressing environmental issues. Our education also aims to explain intricate scientific concepts and discoveries in a way that is accessible and understandable to a broader audience.
In terms of awareness, firstly, it is to increase public awareness of urgent environmental issues, such as what Chang Xin has mentioned just now, to emphasize how important it is to address these problems immediately. And lastly, to emphasize the importance of collaboration between scientists, policymakers, industries, and the public in finding sustainable solutions to environmental issues.
And last but not least, our objective, inspiration. We draw the power of inspiration to inspire and motivate young people to pursue careers in science and environmental research. Besides, this power of inspiration can also to promote public engagement in environmental initiatives and grassroots movements.
Alright, so now is the interview time. We have invited a few specialists to talk on a few subtopics. So let's see what our first topic is.
So for our first subtopic is about climate change. Let's proceed to our interview.
Good morning, professors. Are you ready to the interview?
Yes.
Okay, so the first question will be, what role do scientists play in addressing the climate change?
By studying various aspects of climate change, scientists can identify patterns and trends to predict future scenarios. Additionally, the scientists will collaborate with other experts across different fields to develop solutions and technologies that harness the renewable energy and promote the sustainable energy practices, such as using renewable energy.
Okay, so you have mentioned about the collaborations between the experts. So could you give some example for this kind of collaboration?
For example, scientists will collaborate with engineers, policymakers, and environmentalists to develop an integrated system that harnesses renewable energy sources such as wind power and solar power to meet the requirement needs of urban areas.
Okay, so there are any benefits to this kind of partnership?
This practice will reduce the greenhouse gases emission and minimize waste, leading to a healthier and cleaner environment for the future generations. Ultimately, their work is essential in informing decision-making processes and shaping policies that combat climate change on a global scale.
Okay, so we are going to the second question, and the second question will be, how does scientific research contribute to addressing the climate change?
By examining the impacts of climate change, scientists emphasize the urgency of transitioning to renewable energy sources. By mitigating the greenhouse gases emission by the implementation of renewable energy, we can address the root causes of climate change and ensuring a more resilient future for the ecosystem and human communities. Moreover, through the implementation of greenhouse gases, not only contribute to combat the climate change, it also helps to build a more resilient and secure renewable energy infrastructure that aligns with the broader goals of sustainable development.
Alright, thank you to our specialists that talked about climate change. Now, let's move on to our next topic about pollution. So, without further ado, let's look at what our specialists have talked about regarding this topic.
Okay, so our first questions will be, how do scientists detect the plastic pollution?
Scientists conduct research to understand the source, distribution, and the impact of plastic pollution on human health and ecosystem. Scientists are using satellite imagery and GPS tracking to pinpoint where the plastic is entering the ocean from. For instance, a method developed by University of Michigan mapped the concentration of ocean microplastic across the world using the satellite data. The researchers used the satellite data from 8 microsatellites that are part of NASA's Global Navigation Satellite System mission.
Could you give other ways to detect plastic pollution besides of using satellite data?
The scientists analyzing the water sample to determine the type of plastic that are present and the level of contaminant. Furthermore, the scientists use monitoring techniques to determine the area with high concentration of plastic pollution.
How the scientists are using sustainable energies to clear the plastic pollution?
Scientists are develop ways to turn the plastic waste into energy through processes, for instance, gasification and aerobic respiration and pyrolysis. Furthermore, the scientists are developing bio-based plastic. Bio-based plastic is derived from the renewable feedstock. Bio-based plastic can reduce the amount of waste produced within a shorter time. Depending on the method of breakdown, a piece of bio-based plastic can be fully biodegraded or be reduced in a significant portion of size in 18 to 36 months.
Okay, so how do scientists also tackle the air pollution?
Scientists are actively involved in development and improvement of electric vehicles. Electric vehicles can produce zero tailpipe emission because electric vehicles do not produce exhaust.
Thank you for our specialists in giving us a detailed description on pollution. So last but not least, we will talk about renewable energy in the next interview.
Okay, so our first question will be, what are the efforts that have been done or undergoing by scientists today in resolving the problems that arise from pollution and also climate change?
Yeah, okay. So, scientists across various fields play integral role in solving the environmental challenges. For instance, environmental scientists meticulously gather and analyze the data so that to understand the main causes of pollution and the impacts of climate change in specific regions. This analytical foundation enables them to formulate an efficient strategies so that to solve the environmental challenges. Now, the scientists are putting their efforts in augmenting way so that to find alternative energy more efficiently. The renewable energy stands out as a key point where the scientists are researching and developing the cleaner energy alternative. Their efforts are geared towards a sustainable solution so that to mitigate the pollution and the impacts of climate change.
So how the sustainable energy can contribute to addressing this kind of environmental change?
Okay, so the first one is solar energy. Scientists are engaged in finding the cost-effective semiconductors for the solar panels. Besides, they also generate the novel idea to allocate more solar panels due to the fact that they take up a larger place. Okay, so I want to give an reality example is researchers from the University of Cambridge are working on creating the floating solar panels with the nickname photovoltaics. Okay, so next I'm going to touch about the wind energy. Scientists are investigating which of the geographical locations is the best place to build the wind turbine to generate electricity from the wind. Besides, scientists also have to investigate the environmental impacts after the wind farm is built to know whether the wind farms is damaging the biodiversity at their location or not.
Thanks to our last specialist that talked about renewable energy. And as well, there's a final thanks to all of the specialists that were on the interviews. Just as a conclusion, the role of scientists in addressing sustainable energy development is crucial to preserve and conserve the environment. The role of scientists in sustainable energy development is multifaceted. They are involved in research, innovation, advocacy, and education. Their collective efforts are creating a path towards an energy-free future, where the well-being of the planet is ensured for future generations. So that will be the final part of our video. Thank you.